Hello, everybody. If you can see me. Just kidding. Bad joke. But welcome back to another video. We are actually on Video Diary 8. I have to say how proud I am of myself for committing like this to something, to an idea that I had. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really proud of myself because like this concept, the video diaries, was just like a really silly idea, and I'm enjoying like transforming with it, like as everything goes, and like what ideas might like start to like come into my brain for the future. You know what I'm saying? So it's really cool, and this has been such a year of like just do the things that you want to do, and I'm doing them no matter what they are. So I can't wait just like for more things in the future. But with that being said, welcome. If you're back, are you excited to talk about August today or what? Um, if you haven't been here before, welcome. We are discussing music throughout the months of the year. And these also kind of act as a little bit more of reflection period pieces. Because I am recording so late in the year and like going through the months one by one, it is this state of reflection versus present. So, welcome. Video Diary 8 is titled Let It Go, Let It Be Weird. And I think that this is such a reassuring title just because it was the one title this year that I just didn't like make a really big focus on. And like creatively, it all just came together. It is a very cohesive playlist, and I love what it is. I still very much focused on making sure all of the elements were nice, set in stone. The photography is phenomenal. I'm so happy that I even got that picture. Um, and yeah, I don't know it. I don't even know where it was really inspired from, but it just felt like the right time, especially peak summer being August, that all of these like really nice exciting things were happening, and it just felt like a why have any type of control around it, or why have any type of leash, just let it all happen. And things tend to be much better that way, much more memorable that way, much more exciting that way. And I really came off of this like very beautiful and light, almost like high all the time. And it wasn't because I was high, it was because I just felt so good and light and freed. And yeah, I don't know, it was really nice. It was a nice blend of things. And so I was just like, fuck it, let it go, let it be weird. Add these little emojis because why the fuck not? So you've got a little bit of pop art, some trees, some green. I feel like this hoodie even slightly matches the vibe. This isn't normally my like fit aesthetic, but I don't know. It's weird, right? So let's do it. But that's kind of the title. So it wasn't super poetic, didn't have like a super deep meaning other than what it was, what I was saying. As far as the picture, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the picture. So the picture was really nice, and I remember it taking me a really long time, and it was towards the end of the month where I was like, I got to get it together. I need to find the picture. And August was probably my most media forward month with like photography, videos, all of that stuff, right? Because I was super centered around all of these festivals and shows. And if you've seen my last few videos, August was just stacked. Like, unbelievably, I couldn't even think about really much else because I was living life. And that's what it's about sometimes. So it was really nice, especially coming from July, being in this like super present mindset, and then going into August just very loose and carefree. It was just lovely. It was the loveliest month ever. And I went to go have lunch. We were in the city, so I went on the river walk, and I had a solo lunch date during my work. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to walk around the city a bit. We get a good hour to ourselves. And so it gave me all of this time. And I just took a bunch of pictures everywhere. And I came across this mural that's literally tucked away in like, and this is why I like Chicago sometimes, because we have such unique little things tucked away that you can just very easily miss. Um, and yeah, it was like like a walk up little Mexican souvenir shop, and just the whole space it was in was painted very beautifully. And so I got this really nice shot of the mural with all of the flowers and everything, and I just felt like it spoke to exactly everything that I was feeling. All of the lightness, all of the playfulness, all of the bounciness. And I even took another picture where there's a bit more of the city in the background, and I used that to post, just because it was a little bit more photographic. But I liked the playlist having all of the green completely covered, just because I needed that color to be really representative. So, also not super like in depth of a thought process, but very necessary. So, yeah, that's a picture. I loved it. I feel like it goes really great with all of the other covers we've had this year so far. And yeah, let's read our biography. What I said was August was definitely a bit of a struggle. Past challenges decided to repeat themselves, and second guessing already overcome situations made for some exhausting days. If my inner self has taught me anything, it is to immediately pick myself up. Sometimes you just need a day or two of rest to finally be reset. The beginning started off so strong, free, and loose with happiness and all kinds of peaceful emotions, the lightness. Chaos will always ensue, but it is who can guide through unknown matters and allow their weirdness to still be present forward that really make it through. With the largest reminder being that not a damn thing matters, and be as strange as possible. Let your little comic sighs and pows shine. In this beautiful and fully formed playlist, we are guided by strange ambiance and massive energetic positivity. Still with some alternative lows that mingle in peaks of anger and frustration, but overshadowed by the continued breaking peace and rest. Everything remains active and constant, but sometimes we have to learn silence between it all and know our own inner trusts. Let it all go here and let it be weird. Dance in your room with just a shirt and underwear, kick it in a grocery aisle, sing like no one is listening because they won't give a fuck anyways. Just be you and love what you love. Fabian Rockwell. And I always like to sign off on things just because it's that like nice stamp, of what it is. Like it's true. Oh my god, the cover is so gorgeous. I'm seeing it up close right now. But that's our little biography. And yeah, it is true. Towards the end of August, it got quite difficult just with life and yeah, like these cycles. So it's interesting that some of these albums that we've listened to this year have been about cycles and full circles, and it's crazy. So just know every 7 years it might start to feel that way. But that's really it. Again, like we kind of mentioned everything else in the biography. It was a very light and peaceful for the beginning, but towards the end, it was a bit rougher. And we'll talk about a little bit more of all that stuff in my next video, which is something that we have definitely been aiming for some time. So I'm excited to get a little bit into those. But let's talk about some records. The first one I really want to discuss is something that I've missed, and I feel very bad. But it works out because this album became very present for me in August specifically. And that is Omar Apollo's God Said No. And indeed, he said no. Just kidding. um, Omar Apollo put out a really good project. Omar Apollo always outdoes himself. And I still think he has some lengths to achieve, but he is highly impressive of an artist, and he truly made a body of art. Like he specifically focused on art. Um, Even the little things he did were beautiful. Like he completely brought in a live band and they all played a lot of his songs, like three or four of them, in a room together with like all white. Everybody was wearing all white. They were all very relaxed, laying down, sitting. Some of the people there were just enjoying the music and it was really nice. So I do think that Omar had a really good album this year. I don't think it was the strongest thing we've gotten. It's definitely not his strongest thing we've gotten. And I'm just still excited to see where he goes artistically. I'm trying to think what else. There are like Camila's album. I feel like his album could have had a couple of different covers that would have spoke a little bit more to the actual record. And I think that there are some things that maybe could have been cut. It could have been a little bit of a shorter album. Not that it wasn't even long, but yeah, I don't know. That's kind of my thoughts on it. But it was beautiful, very artistic, very well done, very well crafted, very well produced. He has a beautiful voice. His tour was fucking amazing, but we're not going to talk about all that. There are videos for it. But I did want to talk about it because I did miss it. Um, but because we went to see him on tour this in the month of August, a lot of his music came up in this playlist and is a part of the flow. The other two albums that aren't going to get too much attention right now from us because again there's a video for it. We just did albums of the year and both of these made it on there before I got to them on a video diary. But Empire of the Sun, Ask That God, and Foster the People, Paradise State of Mind. They are heavily throughout this playlist and added to all of this positivity and spiritual growth and just this lovely playlist that we're going to go through. um and again, we talk about those a lot, so I would really recommend going to check out that video. And yes, Kali Uchis released a deluxe version of Orquídeas, and I think that this was an essential move for her just because she put out such a summer forwarded and energetic record so early in the year in January, and we definitely needed it. It was a really good start to the year, but I do feel like people lost focus on it. So this was a really nice part of the summer to reignite and reinvite everybody back to this world that she had. And there was a lot of good deluxe songs that I do think really added to the album that could have honestly replaced a couple of things within the original version. Callie is funny because like she has these very beautiful, well thought out concepts, but they just never fully are executed. It's not for me to like. At the end of the day, she loves them and she made them her covers, but I don't know, like I loved the underwater, the blue, the flowers are all underneath with her. But there was something about like I didn't like the way she was laying or her exact position in the photo that like kind of took away from it. I don't really know what it was. I just think it looks a little awkward. Um and I think that like conceptually that was so good that could have just been the cover alone. Like sometimes we don't always need to be in our covers or our artwork. Like it could just be this visualization that represents everything. And if you are going to be in it, like make sure the picture is the one. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. That could be a little bit harsh, but that is my only critique. Like Red Moon and Venus, that's a perfect album cover. Sin Miedo, the first version, beautiful. Mm, Isolation is a good album cover as well. But everything else, like she's either changed the covers over the years because, artistic growth. But yeah, I don't know. Even still with the deluxe though, I feel like her album just didn't also reach a height that like everything else had. And yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for what Kelly has to bring next, but I know that like her having a kid really meant full focus there, and I feel like some of these projects really deserved more energy and effort put into them that we didn't receive. And it's totally fine. She had a child. Like, you've got to go be a mom, girl. This is a crucial time for you. But your fans, when you are ready and willing, are waiting for like it's girl. So yeah. Um Tinashe put out Quantum Baby, which is her second part of her little trilogy series. And I did a little more research on this. And originally she was trying to have like a very cohesive trilogy thought, but has since decided and changed her mind, as artists are able to do, to make each part of that trilogy project a little bit more unique. So we had Angel Baby, which was this very nude colored, all white, very simple, but it was very well done Angel Baby. Quantum Baby has a bit more of some energy behind the creativity, and the aesthetic is phenomenal. And I just love Tinashe because she incorporates so much gaming influence within all of her art that, like, I cannot look away. I really cannot look away from what she does sometimes. And her rollout for this was so good and also unexpected. And I got to see her twice this year before it like did anything, and it was just like nobody really even paid attention to Nasty at the time. And so it was really special and intimate. And then when we got to see her again, there was a lot more energy with it just because everyone was excited. And she had already gained her traction for the year. You know, I feel like Tinashe fluctuates and she gets really highs and then more simple moments, but then everybody peaks in there once in a while and realizes like how good Tinashe really is, you know? And I have to say, I really like Quantum Baby a little bit over Angel Baby, musically wise. It is still the same, very like racetrack beat kind of thing, like the Mojo Jojo beat. But she does it so well, man. She can do whatever she wants. Um, Lots of good songs on there. Red Flags, Thirsty, freaking Cross That Line, um, Getting No Sleep. Like, you have to listen to that song on headphones and come back to me and tell me what you think in the chat. But yeah, that whole thing was good. And so I'm just really excited for her to do part 3 and also put everything together because it's really nice hearing them like in line connectively. Another album I want to talk about, but I didn't hear this in August. I just noticed that it was released around this time, and they're not a super big part of any of my playlists, so I'd rather talk about them right now. But Magdalena Bay came out with Imaginal Disc, which is their second album, and creative as hell. Like, is almost all I can say. They have a very creative album. Again, not everything for me, but like I really enjoyed the experience of listening to that and really want to sit there on a good pair of headphones and revisit it one day. I think her voice is a bit hard for me to swallow right now, but there's so many heavy sounds that pair so well with it that like those parts of those songs really got me and hooked me in. Like I can't think of the title right now, but there is a specific song where majority of the length is pretty light, but towards the end it amps it up a lot, and it really makes me like that song and go back to it even though I'm not a fan of like the beginning part of it. Um, so I'm definitely gonna grow with that, and maybe we'll talk about it different in a later date and time. But I did want to mention it since it came out this month. Again, I have visited so many albums this year, and there's so many things that we haven't talked about. I will be better about it in the future. But I'm also not going to like overindulge myself as much as I did this year either. But yeah, those are kind of the albums that we had. this year, and August was a little bit more quiet, I feel like, with bigger albums and bigger releases. But a lot of what influenced this playlist was this continued sense of exploration, the ideas of being weird, funky things, and just, feel good. Like that was all of it. So we've been listening to the playlist already just for vibes, but to start kind of from the beginning, we intro with this song called Wild World by Empire of the Sun, and it's very just ambiatic. Like, yeah, like it takes this really upbeat approach and just this very elongated instrumentation that is perfect for an introduction to something as weird as this playlist gets. Um, this next song we had is called Glitch Sig by Foster the People. And this is such a weird song. And kind of one of my favorites of the year because of how weird it gets. But it's a it's a longer song. Ooh, then I'm surviving in my bed. Ooh. Like he's just talking about so many things that like I relate to, just like reflecting on his inner child and like what and like being in his head. Yeah, it has this weird like saxophony outro, and it's so cool. Awkward. That wasn't even the second song. This happens to me all the time we do this. I always have my music on shuffle because I like it to have that. But okay, so Glitchzig is in there still. It doesn't change anything other than the fact that I think it's at the end. Yeah, it's actually the second to last song, not the second song. This one's a longer playlist, I will say. It's cutting close to a 3 hour mark, but this was such a nice thing to like really, clean to and walk around the city to and just vibe to. But I had Toe Moi by. This is why I need my glasses, y'all, but it just looks so ugly with like the light. Toi et Moi by Paradis, which is a record I revisited because a couple of years ago I did an art gallery and I used some of their music for the ambience, and I was like, I've never gone through this album in full, so I did, and there was a lot of things that I really liked. But you guys get the vibe. Continued it with some alternative. We went with Chasing Low Vibrations with Foster the People. It's a classic sound of theirs. I put some throwbacks in there that really worked well. So I got The World Is Watching with Two Door Cinema Club. I love this song. I always come back to it. And it's so summery. This is from the album called Beacon, which is hands down one of like the perfect summer albums to ever listen to. I can feel the world is watching. You guys get the vibe. Some more Empire of the Sun with Friends I Know. August was a very friend oriented month, so this like made sense with it. Very stripped back. And then they do that like auto tune thing. It's a little weird. Stay Golden is on here by Saint Motel. This was such a feel good song, and Saint Motel like really hits sometimes for me. More Two Door Cinema Club with Millionaire. This was a weird song, and I was obsessed with this song over the summer, not gonna lie. Like, here, I'll have you listen, but it starts with a question. Like, what would you do if you were a millionaire? It's super elongated and dragged out and just very fun, very weird. Towards like halfway through, they like question like a child about this, and the child is like, um, and then they just keep playing the music, so it's really funny. And I had a lot of Two Door Cinema Club in this playlist because we got to see them for Lala, which now that I'm talking about it is another full circle moment because I have missed Two Door Cinema Club's last two shows here in Chicago, and I had really wanted to go, but they just didn't work out. It and it's like all of the bands I like always sell out so quick, and then their resale is always really expensive. So we got to see them at Lala, and this was pretty full circle because I haven't, the one tour we did get tickets for, they ended up canceling during around that time of COVID, but it was because one of the band members got injured like really bad, and we weren't even sure if they were going to come back. So really cool. We got more Empire of the Sun, The Feeling You Get. This feels like such fresh nostalgia, this song. And it's like that classic take, but so reformatted to where it feels so current and new. I love this song. Um, got some Disclosure. She's Gone, Dance On. This was just such a good feel good song. And like from the more shorter pop ish upbeat alternative tracks that we heard, this one drags it out a bit. So good. We slow it down with We Should Move Somewhere Beautiful, which is by Ravina, and it acts a little bit more as like an interlude and a break from all of this amped upness, but this really brings in that like peace and serenity and lightness. Some Cool by Gwen Stefani. Oh, I forgot to put this in here, but it flows, right? It's hard to remember. We're gonna get copyrighted if I play that song. This one too. Die with a Smile, though, by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars. I'm sorry. I don't care if it was overplayed. I was the one overplaying it because I fucking love it. This was the first collaboration this year that made me excited. Like, but I did overplay it. Heladito by Kali Uchis. This was a track on the original version of her record that we were discussing, but I don't know. I completely forgot about it and missed it. And my really good friend Bianca loves this song. So I was like, I need to get my life together, and it made sense for me in August. Then I have London Grammar's Fakest Bitch, which also strips things down a bit, but it's the lyricism that really carries this story and starts to pull in all of these more angsty feelings, but at the same time feeling very peaceful. The alternative starts to bring it into listen. All you need from that song is all you need from that song is the violins. It's Cage the Elephants. Love will find a way. Um, I went to listen to Cage the Elephant's previous record, where he's in the red wetsuit, and first of all, very feminine and very kinky. I fucking love it. Police, but yeah, I liked where that one was. I got to hear Pierce the Veil sing um, Karma Police live, and their rendition of this song is immaculate. But I put the original version on this playlist just to kind of go with the flow of things. Karma Police still has a little bit more of that sadness to them. Pierce the Veil brought a lot of energy to the song that I felt like made it really fun and a little bit different. But we all know that song. Taper Jean Girl. I was through this month also going through a lot of my alternate OG alternatives. Um, love Taper Jean Girl. I have always loved Taper Jean Girl. So I went on a little spiral, and I had made a deep cuts playlist too. I don't know what I did with it. I think I put it on Spotify or something, but did all that. More Empire of the Sun. They were throughout in like the foreground of this particular playlist. There's a song called Revolve. I felt like this still alternative, but starts to pull you out of that dark, not dark, the more angsty segment that we just had. Yeah, and like just the lyrics, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So it's fun. We're not gonna get copyrighted. I had put Bailey on there to also give it another height, and like towards the end, I think it like very teeters. Restraint is on here by Florence. She moans a lot. It's weird. Totally fucked up on the beat, but hold on. Hold on. Did I forget this or something? But Dave Bailey from Glass Animals wrote that with her? I've got this song called it's in Spanish, so I don't want to fuck this up. No pierdas tu tiempo by Grito Exclamacion. Loved their cover. I think that's what drew me in, and it's a female-led alternative rock song. And towards the end, she just fucking screams, and I love it. And like also moans, and so it went really well after Florence, her little interlude. I don't know. I fucking love it because it's like this feminine sexual energy that like, and also like by this point in the playlist, like if you were listening to it and jamming out to it and being in your room and dancing and stuff, you would be tired and like out of breath by this point with like the height of everything. So it really spoke to that. Um, I started pulling in a little bit more fall sounds here, just because towards the end of August, obviously it starts to hit this very fall aesthetic and fall month. Um, and so I was really exploring Automotion's discography just because it's so short. Again, we've talked about them before, but they don't have a full like record out just yet, but they have really good conceptualized EPs already. and they're very focused and fine tuned. So Speaking the Static by them, just a great song overall. Loved the color. It had those blues. It brought in all that guitar. And this was truly like the summer of rock for me. So it really started to speak to that. We heard this already while we were talking, but I put Pierce the Veil's Emergency Contact on here to kind of nod to what they did. And I haven't liked a Pierce the Veil song so much in so long. Yup. Nothing But Thieves. Again, they were like spread out throughout the year because duh. Um, then I had Lonely as the Muse by Halsey. This is a great song. This is fucking terrific. I love the cover. It takes so much inspiration from those OG rock covers. I fucking love it. Can make a decade of my efforts disappear. I'm just waiting at the bar and you rip open all my scars by saying something like, didn't know you were here. I always knew I was a martyr. And I just feel like Halsey did so well with that song. And Halsey is far from an artist for me, to be honest with you, but I always give her a chance. And she shines in the heavier tonalities. Like, If I Can't Have Love, we have Power, probably her most cohesive record because her voice just pairs so well with that sound, and she does other things great, and obviously her voice is a little bit more, it could be a chameleon, but it just doesn't sound well with everything. And so Halsey's a bit of a harder pill for me to swallow, but yeah. More Radiohead, as always. Paranoid Android was on here. Hi Papas, what you doing? You're fine, babe. um But yeah, Paranoid Android had to be on here. We've seen Ethel Kane. I experienced her live intentionally. Blew me out of my fucking mind. So this stripped it back, and really towards the end, we go into a lot more sadness. Tinashe's No Simulation has a bit more of a spiritual message behind it at the end of it, so I really liked that here. Um, and it went into this like pop-ish moments that was a little bit quieter with Kali Uchis Simple. Real bad. I don't think it can wait. But yeah, so we went into this very like more simple, stripped back pop that had that like lingering sadness. So that was really nice. I'm not sure what to do. Damn. Did this need to be on an album of the year? We ended it with Getting No Sleep. Tinashe just brings it. Put more Kali Uchis in here. I guess I liked some of her deluxe stuff. Foster the People with Feed Me. Feed Me is another really weird song. I want to taste all the data that you won't release. Like, what does that even mean? So, yeah, it was here. So cool. More Two Door Cinema Club, Wonderful Life, and it was just to like really amp up this energy. We heard Glitchstick already, but this is the second to last song. Again, it just really emphasized the weirdness. And I ended it with Rhapsodize, which is a song by Empire of the Sun, and it's very digital as well, so it sounds cool coming off of this thing, but it has a very spiritual message behind it. Like, isn't that so cool and weird? It sounds like a robot, kind of backward singly saying each lyric over and over. And my favorite part of this little bit is this. Like, do you hear just like it's just all this random nonsense, but it's like speaking on all of these old animals or all of these animals that are a part of life. And I don't know, it pulls me in at least right away. So yeah, this was a good way to close it. And I feel like also make it feel like something you could go back to should you want. And yeah, I don't know, this one had a good flow, it had a good energy. It's not all the same, but I don't know, I did like this one. I But it was definitely very specific towards August, because no month like has come close to this type of positive energy again. So if you are a person who likes more of that positivity, I would encourage this to be the playlist for you, if you like that. But yeah, thanks for sitting here reflecting about life with me for a little bit, and just going over some music. It's one of my favorite things to do, just to sit here and talk about it. If you have any thoughts you'd like to share in the comment section, feel free. I'd love to have a convo. And if there's any albums I've missed this year, just let me know. I would love to listen to them. Yeah. Thanks for having this convo with me, and I will see you guys in my next video. It's gonna get a little serious, y'all. But bye.